So let's talk about Spielberg's newest movie, The Post, which is about the Pentagon paper cover-up in the 1970s. And this movie itself, I think, is a really well-made movie. But for me personally, it's not my favorite movie of the year. Honestly, I think it's a little overrated, just a little bit. I think that even though Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks are great actors, I feel like they're not giving me anything that they haven't done before in terms of acting, and in terms of the story, it's good and it's fine and it's interesting. With what happened in real life with this story, and I like how they portray it. But I think that it's not my favorite film of the year. It's just kind of like it's a good movie. It is really good. It's just not like my favorite movie of the year. I think that, like I said, the acting is good, but it's not something that I am going to remember, or not something that I think is the best from Streeps or Hanks. I think that they both are fine. They're perfectly fine in it, but it just doesn't seem like for me with acting, I feel like I need something more emotionally gripping, I guess. And in this movie, it's not supposed to be like that. It's not that kind of story, but I feel like the acting here is nothing really anything that I was like enthralled about. I was never really excited about their performances, and they just got nominated for the Oscars. So I'm interested to see. I hope this doesn't win like the best performances or the best movie. Not like I'm not insulting Spielberg or anybody involved. I just feel like this movie is safe. It's not anything that's to me overly gripping. And I feel like it is a little overrated, just a smidge. Like it's not like I mean it is still a good movie. I'm not debating on whether it's good or like it's a bad movie. I'm saying that it is still a good movie, but it's not one that I particularly am fond of. And everything I think about it is fine. It's just a fine movie, but it's not one that I will really remember. I think it's just interesting in the story itself that they're portraying, but in terms of like the actors and in terms of Spielberg, I think that this isn't their best work, but it's not bad at all. It's just you get what I mean. It's just kind of an in between of performances and in terms of acting. It's not anything spectacular, but it's not anything bad at all. It's fine. It's good. But it's just not a movie that to me I will ever rewatch, or a movie that I am interested in viewing again, because there isn't much for me to grip onto. But if somebody did love this movie, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm glad for you. I like when people are different about opinions. I feel like that's a great way to show individuality in terms of movie opinions and critiques about movies. And I think that to me, this movie is fine, but it's not one that I overly loved. I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. It's not my favorite movie of the year. The acting is fine. The directing is fine. Like, Spielberg has definitely made better movies than this, but it's a solid movie. It's definitely one that, on the technical aspect, is just really good. Like, how the story is portrayed, how these characters go about this, but it just feels so safe, if you know what I mean. It's just a very safe movie that didn't give me anything really to grip on. But like I said, if you like this movie, definitely love it. That's perfectly fine, but I just think that for me personally, this one is good, but it's not the best out of the three, out of Spielberg and Streep and Hanks. But it is still a fine movie and definitely worth watching. It's just one that, for me personally, I'm not going to remember after a while. But it's definitely one to check out. And if it's got Oscar noms, then that means that people do like it a lot. And I can definitely see why. But for me, it's just not my favorite movie of the year. If that makes sense. I just feel like I'm rambling in this one too much. But the Post to me was just fine. It was a fine movie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best movie of the year, but it was good. It was a good movie. It was a good, serviceable movie, but it wasn't one that to me gave me anything to remember by. So overall, The Post, I think, is just fine. I hope if you guys like it, I hope you do. I thought it was fine.